welcome. My name is Kelsey Connor. I am the owner of Connor & Company and Flourish Studio, and I am a wedding planner and florist. And so today I kind of wanted to give you guys just a really basic how to make a bouquet. These are more expensive flowers, I will warn you. These are probably not at Kroger, but I have a wedding this weekend and this is what she's using. So she's using really pretty peonies. I love this peony, it's gigantic. She's using what's called an O'Hara garden rose. I think they're super pretty. They end up getting really big. We are 2 days away from the wedding, so we do still have a couple days for it to open up. That peony is actually really opened up, but whatever, I love it. We have ranunculus. So I love ranunculus because they kind of just have they got some flair. They just kind of do whatever they want. So you can really play with them and use them however you want. I will also sometimes wire them so that I can bend it wherever I want to bend it without it breaking off. The next one is called a lizanthus. It's this one. You can kind of play with the parts of it. Like you can pull these off and make more parts. I actually pulled all of this off of one stem. So you can play around a lot with them. I also love using the open buds and the closed buds just for funsies. I will be using, this is eucalyptus, seeded eucalyptus, and Italian ruscus. So that is what we're doing today. First, I love taking these and I will pull the bottom off. You do not want any leaves below your hand because that's where you tie it off. You want them to be touching where they're going to be tied off, and everything below it needs to be clean so that when you stick in the water, it doesn't get messed up. So the first thing we always do is greenery. I like to do the greenery with lines first. So that would be this ruscus. So with the ruscus, I basically make a triangle. So there's my triangle. Then I fill it in with the eucalyptus. Same thing. I will probably use these for multiple things. So I will just take it off and I will make me a little pile. I do not throw it away. And I just layer it on top. I layer it in between each of the other ones. And if anything below my hands has leaves on it, I'm going to pull it off. There's your greenery. This will be a pretty decent sized bouquet. I usually recommend doing it in front of a mirror. My mirror is over there. We're just going to go with the focal flowers next. So that would be your garden roses, your peonies. I'm going to start with the garden roses because they're not quite as expensive as the peonies. And again, I'm just going to layer them. I always use my hand as kind of you can see kind of my fingers are lined through it. So my fingers kind of separate out all the stems so we can pretty easily do what we need to do. There we go. There's 3. I think I have 6 in this. So some florists use what's called a recipe. It's kind of duh. I have 5 roses, 3 stems of greenery. Blah, 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 blah. I make a bouquet. So that's basically what recipes are. So that we make sure that we have enough flowers when we order is basically the point of it. Number next is going to be these peonies. These really pretty peonies. I'm actually going to take this and go in and trim off the ends a little bit. I don't trim them off where I know they're going to end up, but I do trim them a little bit just to get rid of some weight. Because these suckers get heavy, especially when you're holding on to it and working with it for 30 minutes. They get pretty heavy. All right, so we have our greenery. I like greenery to almost be a halo, but also like it kind of mixed in. We're going to do the peonies next. I'm going to put these a little bit higher than the garden roses in the bouquet. It's not angled right. There we go. I'm going to put them a little bit higher. Reason being, they are way more expensive. So we want these to be front, center, focal, in yo face. And I want to know where they're going so that I can kind of base everything else off of where these buttes are. Especially when you have an all white bouquet like this one. You really want to make sure that it has like structural interest, because you don't really have much color interest. So that's what I'm aiming for, is a little bit of structural interest. Sucker's gigantic. I love it. By Saturday, it will be huge. Huge. Okay, that is that. So pretty. Then we get to play with the fun flowers. Same thing. I'm going to take this, go in and kind of lock off some of the big ones, because your balance just kind of gets thrown off when you have really heavy flowers in your hand. And if I see any flowers, or if I see any leaves in the bottom, I'll take them out. Again, because when I stick them in the water, if the leaves are in the water, they decompose and they hurt your flowers because they'll mold. It'll mold the water up and make it really gross. We don't want really gross water. So I try to pick some really kind of like, I can wiggle it and it looks fine. It doesn't look like it's going to break on me. And I just stick them in and I let them kind of do their thing. I let them kind of play around. This one is kind of worrying me, so I'm going to hold off on him. He's strong. He ain't moving nowhere. So we're going to stick him in. I do try to stick these more in than like inside, so that they have things that are braced. They are braced on some other things versus on the outside, because their stems are not super, super strong. And I don't want them to get messed up. He's kind of having fun. I like him. We'll do him. I mean, they're just kind of like poking out. They're just kind of, they're doing their own thing. I really like these. They're fun. One thing you kind of want to keep in mind is the front of the bouquet versus the back of the bouquet. This one's kind of tight, so I'm not super worried about it. I'm able to kind of disperse the flowers around it. But there are some that you may be a little more worried about. Like you have one focal flower. Like there are some flowers that are really expensive, so I only really buy one. So then I'm going to just kind of sneak these lizanthus in. Again, tuck that guy in a little bit more. And fan-friggin-tabulous. I like him. He's so cute. Or she. I don't know. A lot of personality to it. I like it. I really like it. So one thing too, as you're finishing it off, you kind of want it to go in a spiral shape. That helps it stand up on its own. It helps it kind of have integrity when you're holding on to it. I am in love with it so far. He's looking so cute. Just be really careful that you don't get it so short that you can't even get it in the water. Definitely done that before. So, beautiful. I'm really digging it. So I love waterproof tape. It tends to be the easiest to work with. So this is a little trick from the trickster. You wrap it forward, wrap it around, get it all nice and tight, and then you flip it and you wrap it backwards. I was told that I'm kind of a redneck. I'm from Tennessee. Just FYI, if you didn't know. I don't know if you've ever duct taped anybody to a tree, but it's kind of the backward. You normally stick the non-sticky side to them, wrap it around a couple times, and then you put the sticky side so that when they put their arms down, they don't stick to it. This is backwards. I'm putting the sticky side to the flowers, and then I'm putting the non-sticky side to that so that the other sticky side is out. Reason being, it helps when you put the ribbon on. There's my bouquet. I just usually take some ribbon, tie a square knot, and you are beautiful to go. So that's what I got for this one. I also wanted to show you guys how to make a matching boutonniere. So I got these forever. Ooh, making a mess. I got these forever ago from a party. I think they were actually from my wedding 4 years ago. But this is just a little like wine cup, and I have learned they are the best thing ever for boutonnieres. This is going to be a ranunculus boutonniere. This is a ranunculus. So when I make boutonnieres, I do like to have them wired. Why? so that they don't fall over. I don't know what it is about grooms and groomsmen, but they love to like hug. They end up in like these bear hugs, especially the really sweet ones. Like it might be something Southern, but it's something about those sweet little boys that everybody wants to hug them. And by the end of the night, the flowers just... So these are wire cutters. I just go to the very, as far as I can down without cutting flower, and do one snip. And there it goes. So this is actually pretty long for a boutonniere, but that's okay. We're not done. I am going to take, so this is a ranunculus bud. I'm going to take that dude as well. Throw it on there. If you do see that there's a little bit of wire sticking out, you can just push it in. Because this is going to end up being cut later. You don't have to wire a bud. It's just there to be its little bud. I did that. Okay. I'm actually going to add this lizanthus just for fun. In design, if you've ever done anything with design, you learn that they really love threes. So I do try to have 3 little thingies, and then some. I try to and then some greenery. The greenery is more of just like something that backs it, so that it's not just flopping everywhere. Sometimes I'll take this and I'll put more than one. Yep. So I have my ranunculus and my other 2 and my greenery at the back. It's ready to go. So I love to kind of take the tape, just a little bit, take the tape and put it right here so that the rest of it kind of hangs off a little bit. Grab a piece of tape and show you. You don't need a whole lot. After I get done with that, I take a little bit of ribbon, just tie it around it just to cover up the tape. And then, so I trim it. I normally figure out which one was the shortest and try to trim it that length because I still want it kind of long. I still want a little bit. It's almost like a very little mini bouquet. So I do that. I stick it in my little wine cup of water. That way it doesn't matter if I don't get it back because I don't really care because I can just throw that away. So that is my tutorial for today. Like, comment, and subscribe. And I hope to see you guys soon.